Welcome to Relationships in Progress with your host, LaShonda Thomas of Lioness Counseling, located at 5601 Bridge Street in Fort Worth, Texas, 76112. So, on this show in Relationships in Progress, we talk about all sorts of relationships with a licensed therapist. Yes, I am a licensed therapist with Lioness Counseling that you can see for all of your mental health needs if you choose to do so. So today I want to talk about acceptance because acceptance is something that is really near and dear to my heart because I feel like a lot of people reach out and need mental health services because there is some aspect of their life that they cannot accept. It's something about themselves they cannot accept, or it's something about their partner or child that they cannot accept. And that is why they're having all of these mental health issues. So today's topic is how to accept the person that you are. So you guys know I like to start off everything with a quote because quotes are just that meaningful, and a lot of times they hit home and trigger things more than something that anyone could say in traditional conversations. So today's quote is, "Time does not heal everything, but acceptance will heal everything." So it's kind of like what I was talking about initially when a lot of people seek out therapy services because they have some issues with acceptance. People love to say that time will heal everything, just give it time. No, time does not heal everything. It makes it less meaningful, it makes it less triggering to you, doesn't bother you as much, but to a certain extent, it will always bother you. For example, my sister died when I was 14. That was the closest person to me in this earth, on this earth still to this day. No one would understand me as much as my sister did. The time has passed. 13, that's a long time ago. It has not healed everything. I am still very much triggered. I'm still sad sometimes, but I accept the fact that she is gone, and I accept the fact that she's never coming back, and I accept the role that she had in my life and listen to the lessons that she taught me. And so that has healed that. That has hurt me so much because I accept it. So what is acceptance? Before I talk about anything, I want to define it so that you guys know what I'm talking about and we're on the same page because we have many definitions for the same words in the English vocabulary. So acceptance is the act of accepting something or someone. The fact of being accepted, and a synonym for that is approval. Thank you, Merriam-Webster, for that nice definition that you have. Or secondary definition is to give admittance or approval to. Also by Merriam-Webster.com if you need to have your dictionary with you on site. So, in psychology terms, in the terms that I'm going to use it moving forward, is acceptance in human psychology is a person's assent to the reality of the situation, recognizing a process or condition without attempting to change it or protest it. Now, I know that's a very, very complicated definition, but pretty much it is my acceptance of the situation. I recognize that this is an issue that is not going anywhere, and I don't change it. I'm not upset about it because I just accept that it is what it is. That's one of those quotes that most people say, it is what it is. It's not going to change. Your emotions about it does not change the fact that it is what it is. That's pretty much what this definition in psychology terms means. So, why did I choose this? Because life is about acceptance. Life is all about acceptance. Life is about our relationships with ourselves determines our relationships with others. Example of that is confidence attract others. If you're a confident person and you carry yourself in a confident light, then you tend to have more positive relationships with others because you believe that they're confident in their own abilities and you're not going to be over them like a hawk. But if I am sad with myself or I hate myself, then I cannot be that other person, be a good person for other people that they need. Because people will see that I don't accept myself, that I don't love myself. Because life is all about acceptance. The need to belong is one of the most powerful human needs. And you will hear me say that a lot because it's very, very true. And a lot of people underestimate the power of that need. So if the need to belong is one of the most powerful human needs, how do you belong somewhere? You what? You get accepted into a club. You accept the person that your friend is. You accept your partner, who they are. It's all about acceptance. I want to get accepted into grad school. I had to fill out an application. In high school, I went to a magnet school. I had to get accepted into a magnet school. So I had to write an application, an essay. Anything that you do, you have to get accepted into, or in relationships context, you have to accept people as who they are. We must accept that life is full of struggles and there is no way around it. I have a tattoo on my inner arm that says, "Pledge allegiance to the struggle." And to me, it is a reminder that I'm going to always be in a struggle, but to love those because I come out on top and I come out a better person after I have experienced that struggle. We all go through it, just like Pastor always says in church. He says you're either in a struggle, coming out of a struggle, or you're about to be in a struggle. Because there's life. It is what it is. We have to struggle in order to understand. That is the complex human emotions that we don't like to talk about. We don't like to talk about that struggle. We want to read all these self-help books on how we can be better and how we can improve and we can do this better and that better. But a lot of times those self-help books will drive you to be more depressed or drive you to be more angry because you're not taking that advice with the help of a therapist that can walk you through it, because not everybody can hear the same advice and take it the same way. And that's why self-help books can be dangerous. They can be very helpful if they are used correctly in a therapeutic environment. So please, 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 please make sure that you use those self-help books responsibly, because at the end of the day, you can't grow or progress in any way, shape, form, or fashion that these books are talking about if you cannot accept where you are in life right now. And that's why, as a therapist, it is my job to meet you where you are. It is my job to accept the person that you are and to hold your hand and walk you through the steps so that you can learn to accept yourself. So please reach out if you need some help with accepting who you are or accepting the behaviors that you do. So next question that I'm going to think about it, because if you're talking to me about acceptance, I'm going to be like, why is it so hard to accept myself? Why do people have such a hard time accepting the person that they were meant to be or made to be? The first reason people have a hard time to accept themselves is you're trying to be somebody else. You're trying to be what mom and daddy want you to be. You're trying to be what your best friend wants you to be. You're trying to be what your teacher wants you to be. You're trying to be what your partner wants you to be. If you are living a life that was not yours, you're never going to be happy, because it's not your life. It's not meant for you. Also, it's so hard to accept people is that we're trying to live up to societal ideals about beauty, about love, about jobs, about success. Success means differently for different people. For some people, success meaning that I have a multi-billion-dollar company. And for some people, success can mean I just want to be happy and get married and have children. And so when we try to live up to these societal ideals, it's very hard to accept ourselves because we're trying to be what we see on TV. Especially the idea of beauty. When I am talking to young women, those models you see on TV, they're not even real. Imagine how much capabilities we have to Photoshop, and imagine what a real photographer have the capabilities to Photoshop. Those women are not the size they portray themselves to be. They get airbrushed, they take away imperfections, they even out skin tone so you can't see blemishes and acne. But models have all these type of things that we do too. But when we try to live up to the idea of what it is to be a model, we're unhappy when we can't get to that level. For example, not everybody is meant to be a size 4. Not everybody is meant to be that small, skinny, model, tall, thin. No. Some people are meant to be larger. Some people are meant to be plus size. Hence, why you see some celebrities, when they lose a lot of weight, they look crazy. Because they're not meant to be skinny. And they try to change themselves because what? They didn't accept the size they were supposed to be. Now, granted, yes, it is always good to strive to be a better you and a more healthy you. But size has nothing to do with health. I have a friend that is 3 times my size that can outrun me right now. On the outside, they look very plus size, but a lot of it is muscle because they are naturally supposed to be that size. I am naturally supposed to be small. Yes, I have been bigger in my lifetime, but overall, I'm supposed to be small. So that is how my body is shaped. So I look weird when I gain weight. Another reason it's so hard to accept yourself is that we are not perfect. You will never be perfect. There will always be flaws in your body. There will always be weaknesses in your personality. There are always going to be issues that you're going to always have. you have to accept that. You have to accept that we make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Some people that you idealize, you feel like they never make mistakes. They just don't make mistakes to the fact that you see it. But everyone makes mistakes. It is okay. You have to accept the mistake and move on. Accept that you did this and learn the lesson that you're supposed to learn and move on. Because when we overanalyze things in our mind and we try to make sure that we don't do it the next time, we end up creating anxiety because I don't want to be that person. I hate the person that I am in the mirror because I've made a lot of mistakes. Or here's a big one right here, y'all. Here's a big one. Woo! Why is it so hard to accept yourself? Because you have not forgiven yourself for previous actions. Self-forgiveness is one of the hardest things in life because you can't teach that. You can't teach someone how to forgive yourself. And a lot of times people feel like what other people did to them was their fault. No. You can only be in control of your emotions, your actions. You cannot be in control of other people. Now, you can move out of the way when they are trying to hurt you in the exit stage left. That's different. But we have to learn to forgive ourselves for screw-ups that we have made. Even me as a therapist, I have had a lot of screw-ups in life. And you can ask my parents or my sister about any of that. I've screwed up. We all do. But you have to forgive yourself. Because if you can't forgive yourself for minor acts, how can you forgive your partner? How can you forgive your child for messing up in school? You can't. Because it's very hard. Another reason people find it so hard to accept themselves is they don't like the person they see in the mirror. Like I said previously. If you don't like who you see, how can you accept it? And for most people, this will hit home for people who have sexuality, orientation, or gender identity issues. Because I am biologically a female, but when I look in the mirror, I don't like to see my female parts. Regardless if I identify as transgender or want to be a male or not, that's not the point of the conversation. The point of the conversation is I don't like what I see in the mirror, so I cannot accept myself. But the thing about all that is, you still can accept yourself regardless if you like your body image in the mirror. You can accept the fact that you don't like this image, and I don't have to identify as anything. I don't have to put myself in any label or box. Whatever. I don't have to be transgender or non-binary. I'm just me. And I accept me for me. And I appreciate if you don't use female pronouns. Acceptance. Ooh, and this is another one right here, is that your loved ones don't accept you. So how can I accept myself if my own mom and dad does not accept the adult that I have grown to be? This is a whole therapy session, but I'm just going to give you a simple version of that. When you become an adult, you live your life for you. You're no longer living your life for your parents. So at that point, you need to make a decision if you're going to live the life that they want you to be and be unhappy, or live the life that you were destined to be and be very happy and still accept their feelings about the situation too, because acceptance works both ways. If you want them to accept you and your lifestyle, you need to accept their feelings about it. For example, if I have lots of tattoos and my parents hate tattoos, I accept the fact that they don't agree with this lifestyle, and I accept the fact that they will never like these tattoos. So out of respect, when I go over there, I'm going to be a little bit more covered than I would be in public. It is not saying that I don't like my tattoos. It is not saying that I'm hiding it. It is saying I accept how you feel about it and I respect it because you're my parents. But these tattoos ain't going nowhere. But I might be a little bit more covered up for your sake because I love you just that much. But it doesn't mean that I don't accept myself. It means I accept your feelings about it. And I don't want to make you upset in any way. So, me talking about how all these things contribute to us, our inability to accept ourselves, what is the next step? So, a lot of these things I may just said may have hit home for a lot of you people here. And so if that has hit home, I'm going to give you a couple things that you can do to learn how to accept yourself. Now, a lot of these things are easier said than done. And that's why I need to put this in there, that you may need to work on this with a therapist, because self-acceptance is very, very, very hard to do. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. So when you're trying to work on accepting yourself, I'm going to say that you need to see a therapist, a life coach, preacher, whoever you feel like you need to confide in. But This is a very hard process. So even with me saying these simple steps, it is not simple. It just sounds very simple because I got to make it simple for the sake of this radio show, Relationships in Progress. So, how do I learn to accept myself? One thing you can do is you can focus on your strengths and accept your weaknesses. A lot of your weaknesses won't change. You may have better days when it doesn't bother you as much, but it's still always going to be your weakness. For example, I'm always going to be late. I'm always going to be rushing. That has always been me. My mom used to tell me as a kid, Shonda, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. If you iron your clothes at night and put your bag by the door, you won't have these issues. Consciously, I know that. I still don't do it, and I'm still rushing every day, running late. That is a weakness that I have. I tell people that off jump, I am not dependable when it comes to timeliness. Yes, there are some times when I'm on time. Yes, there are some times when there's early, but 70, 85, 90% of the time, I'm either going to be late or rushing because that's just a weakness I have. So instead of trying to focus on these weaknesses, like self-help books will tell you to improve this and how to improve that, sometimes you can't. Yes, there are some days where I say they're going to be better. There's some days when I can, but I don't want to be upset at myself if I continue to do these behaviors, trying to say, why can't I change? That type of stuff can drive you into a depression. So instead of trying to minimize my weaknesses, I'm going to focus on my strengths. Because if my strengths are that much more stronger in your face, then the weaknesses won't bother people as much. Another way you can learn to accept yourself is be aware of and to stop your negative thinking. As soon as you go into that spiral of, I don't like myself, that type of thing, everybody knows your spiral. We all are very well aware of ourselves. Stop those automatic negative thinking. If you want to see me or any kids see me, automatic negative thinking, ANTS. ANTS is an acronym, and I actually have pictures of ANTS with some automatic negative thinking issues. So some of those automatic thinking, I'm going to go over this very briefly, is catastrophizing. And catastrophizing is exactly how it sounds. When people just get into a cycle and they just catastrophize and make it bigger than what it is. For example, I'm going to use myself since I talked about my lateness as a weakness. For example, if this was my thought pattern, oh my God, I woke up late. Oh my God, I'm going to get to work late. My boss is going to be mad at me. They're going to write me up, or she's going to miss me and fire me, or I'm going to get a decrease in pay because I'm undependable and now I'm on my boss' bad side. And so the next time our CEO comes or anybody comes, she's going to throw me under the bus and say that I'm always late. Now I'm anxious every time I go to work. If that is my thought process, I'm afraid I'm going to get fired every time I'm late. That is automatic negative thinking. And at that point, you need to stop it. No, yes, there are some techniques people say, yeah, stop it, it works. No, it doesn't work that way. You need to find coping skills or something that is a distraction so you won't continuously think about those things. You know, for me, the best coping or the best distraction is to watch funny videos. Right now, the funny video I like is when the little girls poke the little boy and he's like, you poked my heart. That type of stuff helps me stop. Me personally stop my automatic negative thoughts. It's when I look at something that makes me laugh. And so you being aware of yourself, as soon as that spiral starts, you need to stop it and find a way. A big one. This is probably one of the biggest ones I would say. Accept your flaws and don't hide them. Stop trying to hide for people because you can only hide for so long. They're going to find out the truth. And then you're going to feel like it's some big secret that got unveiled because you tried so hard to hide them and to minimize them. No. Accept them. It's part of who you are. It's what makes you you. Me and my friends have a running joke. You got to lie to me about the time that you need to start. You need to give me 30 minutes. Lie to me because I'm at least going to be 15 minutes late. Lie. It's funny. But I don't hide them. All my friends know what it is. They know that's just me. For some reason, I'm always running late. No matter what I do, that's just me. I don't attempt to hide them. When I meet new people or people ask me about deadlines, I let them know from jump, hey, if you need this done by this time, you might not need to ask me because I am not the best when it comes to timeliness. And so I let them know. I accept it. It is what it is. It's a flaw that I have. Can't do nothing about it. Another way to accept yourself is to compliment yourself with no buts. That is no longer a compliment. As soon as you enter a but, that is not a compliment. If I say I am a really dependable person, but I can't be on time, that is not a compliment anymore. No, just say I'm a dependable person, period. Because regardless of my timeliness, I'm very dependable. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I may be up all night, I may procrastinate, but I'm going to do it. Don't use buts when you're complimenting yourselves. One of the things I like to ask when I'm in a therapy session is, what is your strengths? What are your weaknesses? And a lot of people, when I say those strengths, they'll say, but. Nope, you're discounting that. It's still a strength, regardless if it's a strength 95% of the time, 75% of the time, it's still overall largely a strength. Don't compare yourself to other people. No, what they got going is what they got going on. You don't know what they did to get in the position they did. A lot of times we'll see friends that are more successful with like less education. How did they get to this fact? I went to school, I did all this type of stuff, but yet they're living the life that I wanted to live, and they didn't even go to school. How did they get it? Doesn't matter how they got the job. You can't take no one else's blessing. If that was for them, then that was for them. That wasn't for you. You have no idea. You may have get a bigger promotion coming off as long as you play your part. We can't compare ourselves to other people's lives or to say that I've worked harder than they have. I deserve it more than they do because they don't work half as hard as I do. It doesn't matter. Life is not fair. So as soon as you accept the fact that life is not fair, you will continuously compare yourself to other people. Life isn't unfair. It doesn't make sense. People's level of success, as you want to call it, does not always equate to their level of hard work. It doesn't. Because that's just life. It is what it is. Accept it and move on. Don't worry about things that happened in the past. To me, 5 minutes ago in the past. I cannot change the past. I'm sorry. I don't have that power. I can't rewind time. I can't step into a time machine. I can't take back what was said. We can't. So why worry about things we cannot change? One of the famous prayers in the Serenity Prayer in the Bible or in AA, God grant me the courage to accept the things that I cannot change and the wisdom to know the difference. That's exactly what that is. Accept the things I cannot change and to know the difference of things that I can change. Because some things you can change moving forward. I can't change what happened, but moving forward, I can. For example, I can say that one day I told my husband he was a loser and it hurt him deeply. From moving forward, I can realize and know that don't say this word anymore because it hurt him so much. I can't worry about the negative feelings that I gave him when I said it in the past, but I can make sure that I prevent myself from saying that in the future. A lot of times we need to acknowledge that we tried the best that we could in this situation. Your efforts, a lot of times, is the best that you could do, regardless if it's perceived as being your best to someone else. No one knows you better than you know yourself. I tried my best. I tried my best to get there on time. I set 6 alarms. I still didn't hear now one of them alarms. But I did. I really did try to get there on time. I really did try. I made sure my gas was in the car. I made sure I had my lunch already made. And I still was late. I tried my best. I really did. Tomorrow's a new day. I could try it in another way. But I can't keep reflecting on what happened and how incompetent I may feel that I can't get something right. Try our best. And another thing you need to do is to live fearlessly. I'm going to say that one more time. Live fearlessly. When I say living fearlessly, it means that you don't care about how other people feel about you because you accept yourself and you accept the fact that some people would not like you regardless of what you do. Fearlessly means I am not afraid to be hurt. I'm not afraid to mess up. I'm not afraid to say what I need to say. I'm not afraid to take the life that I'm supposed to have. That's what living fearlessly means. It doesn't mean flawless. I didn't say flawless. I said fearless. We're going to make mistakes all up and down the way of living fearless. You're going to rub some people the wrong way, living fearless. But that is how you accept yourself, because if you have no fears, to a certain degree, because we all have fears, y'all know what I mean in this context. When I don't fear rubbing other people the wrong way. That's what I mean by living fearlessly. Don't worry about everybody else. Your life is your life. You're living what you were supposed to be living. Feel what you are supposed to feel, not what you think other people should do. A lot of times people say, I want the best for you, and they truly may want the best for you. And they truly will try their hardest to make sure that you get that. But their best for you may not be the best for you, if that makes sense. Yes, it may be a good life, what they try to give you, but maybe you were destined for a better life. And you minimize yourself to get that life that they thought that you should need. Food for thought, reflect on that for a minute. So I'm talking about accepting yourself. But I also want to talk about accepting others. And why is it hard to accept other people? Why? Why do we try to judge people and fit them into our naive categories of what life should be in? Why? The biggest reason is the most simplest one. Because you don't like them. That's why you don't accept them. You don't like them. You don't like who they are. You don't like the sound of their voice. You don't like how they dress. You don't like how they talk. You don't like how they move. You don't like their work ethic. That's why you don't like them. But acceptance has nothing to do with like. It has nothing to do with condoning behaviors. It has nothing to do with agreeing with behaviors. It is saying that I understand the person that you are, and I respect that. I would never ask you to act outside of who you are. I may not like you, but I still accept who you are, 100%. I do not try to change you. You ain't gotta like nobody to accept them. You don't. You can accept the fact that you don't like them and accept the person they are and move on with your life. Another way it's so hard to accept others, and this one probably occurs way more in the context of a relationship than anything else. And that's because you want them to be who you want them to be. I want to change you. I feel like we are a good match, but I want you to change this one thing about yourself. No, I don't like this. No, I'm not having this behavior. I cannot stand you being late. You need to change this behavior or we're going to always have problems. Nah, you need to accept the fact that I'm always going to be late. And you need to lie to me about what time we need to arrive so that you can get around that. That's what that should be. You can't make nobody be who you want them to be. And a lot of times in relationships, when you have so much conflict, especially about the same issues, is because you want them to be who you want them to be. You want them to think the way you want them to think. You want them to act accordingly. Life doesn't work that way. You can't make nobody be who you want them to be. Especially in a marriage, if you can't accept the person that your spouse is, then you don't need to get married. If you marry with intentions of changing this person, then you don't need to be married. Because it's never going to work that way, and it's only going to create more drama because you're trying to change them, and that is creating conflict between the two of you because they're resisting that change. Another way it's so hard to accept people is that it may go against your beliefs, your morals, or your values. For example, the easiest one to talk about is maybe your sexuality. I may be a good God-loving Christian that go to church every Sunday, Bible study every Wednesday. I'm one of the prayer warriors in church. But I cannot accept someone who is gay in the church because it goes against my beliefs. No, I believe that in the Bible it said men should be with men and women should be with women. Well, men should be with women. Don't say women. A man should not lie with another man. To be correct is what the Bible says. So therefore, I can't accept you because you live a lifestyle that goes against everything I believe in. But once again, I'm going to say this. Acceptance does not mean that you condone the behavior or agree with their behaviors. It is saying, I accept that this is who you are, and it won't change. If it goes against my morals and values, if we want to go religion speak, when you go up to God or you go to Judgment Day, you're only there to account for your actions. Not for nobody else's actions, not for your kids, not for your spouse. You are there to account for what you did. Now, what they did is what they did. They will have to face their Judgment Day and their maker and have to explain what happened. Nothing to do with you. So accept other sexualities, even if you don't agree or condone it, because you have no idea how hard it is for some people that lives an alternative lifestyle to be okay, to even say it out loud that this is who they are, or the journey they have had to even get to that point. You have no idea. So accept them. You don't have to like them. Once again, you don't have to agree or condone with them. It doesn't matter. They're who they are. You accept it. It is what it is. I don't try to change you. Anything. A lot of people believe that if you accept them, then you agree with their behaviors. No. When I read the definition of acceptance, did it say anything about agreeance? No, it did not say anything about agreeance in the definition of accept. So I'm going to read the definition one more time so you guys remember. So acceptance is the act of accepting something or someone, the fact of being accepted, to give admittance or approval to. To get admittance to, like I said, I had to write an essay to get into school or to college. You have to complete your FAFSA and meet all the requirements. So you got accepted into the school, which means you got admitted. But like I said, in psychology terms, we're talking about acceptance means a person's assent to the reality of the situation, recognizing a process or condition without attempting to change it or protest it. None of this said I agree or condone with one of this. It says that I accept the reality of the situation. I recognize that it is a process that you are going through, and I don't attempt to change it or protest it. That is your life. Live your life the way you want to live your life. You living your life does not affect me living my life. If you don't like what someone else is doing around you, then you need to set a boundary or move around. You don't have to be a part of it. You don't have to be privy to it. You chose to be around it. You chose to allow yourself to get upset. Everything in life is a choice, guys. So now we talk about the reasons of why it's hard to accept people. So how do I accept people? How do I? Because I was not taught that. I don't know. My parents always said, don't talk to this person, stay away from this person, don't do this, don't do this. I don't know how to accept people. So accepting others is the same way that you accept yourself. The exact same way to accept yourself. So when I first said that to accept yourself, you have to focus on your strengths and accept your weaknesses. Same thing with other people. Focus on other people's strengths and accept their weaknesses. It won't change. It may get better, but to a larger degree, it will always be a weakness. How to accept others? Compliment them with no buts. Give them a nice compliment on how they look or how they act, regardless of how they feel. Regardless of how you feel. We all need compliments. We all need positivity around us. Another way to accept others is don't judge them by their past. They may be a very different person now. And when you're judging people on their past, they can't grow. For example, if I used to be a drug addict and I've been clean for 10 years, but my family keeps reminding me of those times and keep saying that you this and you that, or I can't let you use my car, or you can't be in the house because in the past you stole a car, you stole everything in my house. Like, that was 10 years ago. I've been sober for 10 years. You never know that comments like that could trigger someone to relapse. Because in their mind, why do I need to get clean? People don't trust me anyway. At least when I was living my life, I was happy. So you have to be careful with that. Accept other people's. Don't compare them to you. You can't compare other people to you. They're different people. They don't think the same. They didn't have the same parents. They were not raised in the same neighborhood. They didn't have the same teachers. They didn't have the same siblings. They did not have the same experiences that you have had. So you can't compare them to you. When people say, man, that's stupid. If it was me, if I would have done this, I would have done woo-doo-woo. That's cool. But it wasn't you. So why are we having this conversation? Stop comparing. Because that's why people don't like who they are. That's why we have so many people with low self-esteem, because the comparisons can drive people crazy. And so don't compare yourself. Me personally, I don't compare myself to anyone. And anyone who knows me personally, or if I am your therapist or was your therapist, everything that I say, everything that I talk about is me. I do these things. I don't like to be a hypocrite and try to talk about things that I don't do. My best friend is a lesbian. That is not my lifestyle at all. But that doesn't mean that I don't accept her and love her the same as if she wasn't one. It doesn't matter to me. I accept that. I live very fearlessly and I flaunt all of my flaws. I put all of my flaws in everyone's face so that you know what it is. But me flaunting my flaws, that leads me to be a confident person. I am very confident in my abilities. I am very confident in the person that I am. I am confident. Of course, there's still some aspects about myself that I don't necessarily like, but it is what it is. Can't change it. So I just got to work with it. I just learn how to work with it. I don't necessarily like the fact that I talk really fast. I have to work with it and be aware of it and to be conscious of it. It is not going to change. I am always going to talk fast because I've always talked fast, even as a small child. I talk fast, I think fast. My thoughts run over each other. That's a flaw. I can't change that, but I can learn how to work with it. And so if you hear me, guys, there are some times when I talk really fast and then I'm conscious of it and then I start talking really slow. That is me working on my flaws. Another way to you accept others, PSA. This is a PSA, a public service announcements. Don't attempt to control or manipulate people. And when I say manipulate, I mean you're trying to push them towards the person that you want them to be. They are not supposed to be that person. Stop trying to control or manipulate them. If you're in a relationship and you continuously try to control or manipulate your partner to be something that they're not, then this will never be a happy relationship for you because they are not the person that you want and you keep trying to force them to be that person. For example, it's just like when little kids get those little blocks set with the square, the triangle, the circle, and the star, and you have to fit the shape inside the correct shape. It's just like you fitting a square and trying to fit this square into the circle. It won't fit because it's not supposed to. No matter how many times you mash it, no matter how many times you turn the table a different way, no matter how many times you turn that piece a different way, it will not fit. So if you're trying to control, manipulate your partner, you are not a good fit. And maybe you need to move on because you entered that relationship with false hopes. And so, another quote is I want to say this because I'm talking because acceptance, a lot of this happens in therapy, regardless of what the issue you're coming for. The ultimate goal is pretty much acceptance. Of course, we use our fancy therapeutic jargon vocabulary, but at the end of the day, acceptance. So, with that being said, the first step towards change is awareness, and the second step is acceptance. And that's a quote from Nathaniel Branden. And so, I have to be aware of something before I can even accept it. I have to be aware of the fact that I'm always late. If I'm not aware that this is a pattern that I exhibit, then I can't accept it and I can't change it. I can't grow up. I can't. So you have to be aware of your own patterns. And then I say the second step is acceptance. So in therapy, a lot of the first sessions are about awareness. I'm trying to see your awareness about yourself. How well do you know yourself? How well do you know your patterns, your thinking processes? How well do you know your children? How well do you know your spouse? I am assessing your level of awareness. Because obviously we're not on acceptance. That's the whole point of you coming into therapy. We're not there yet. But we got to worry about being aware first. And then we can work on acceptance. So, how to accept the person that you are? That was the topic of today. We talked about accepting yourself. We talked about accepting others. We talked about living fearlessly. And the number one rule, if you don't remember anything else from what I said, remember to don't compare people. Don't compare people to yourself. Don't compare other people to other people because they've had different experiences. There is no comparison. Also, If I talk too fast for you guys today, because I am aware that today I did talk faster than I should have, all of my talks, all of the topics on relationships in progress will be uploaded to the YouTube account, my Lioness Counseling YouTube account. So if you want past episodes, past radio shows that were aired, you can always go to YouTube, search for Lioness Counseling, or you can also go to my website at www.lionesscounseling to get these past shows that has previously aired if you want that information. So, you know how we do on Relationships with Progress. I love to end on high notes because I love positivity. I don't like negativity. Life is full of negative stuff. Negative stuff happens naturally. Positivity we have to create. Oh, that sounds good. I will write that as a quote. So, negativity happens naturally, and positivity we have to create. So, with that creation of positivity, you know how I like to leave off with nostalgic moments with LaShonda. So in this segment of the radio show, it is just me talking about our relationship with nostalgia. Nostalgia just means old stuff. Pretty much means vintage is another word for nostalgia. And so today I want to say we go way back, like when I didn't have to care about no one's opinions but my parents. And I say that because as children, that is all you think about is your parents' acceptance of you. When you get in trouble, the first thing you think of, please don't call mama. Please don't tell my daddy. Because that is the only person's opinion we're concerned about. We're not concerned about upsetting the teacher, the principal. We're not even really concerned about ourselves. We're not even concerned about the consequences of being in trouble. All we're concerned about is what my parents will say. For me, when I was a small child, the worst thing my parents could tell me was they were disappointed in me. Because what? There was their opinion. And they raised me to be a certain way that I wasn't acting as. So that would hurt me so much more. Because as a child, that's all you care about is your opinion of your parents. Then we lose our age of innocence and we hit puberty in our teenage years. Then when that puberty and those teenage years hit, that's when you start caring about everybody's opinion of you and how you are being perceived, largely. But as a small child, we don't. We don't care. We don't care about other people but your parents' idea. So, like I said, we go way back. Like when I didn't have to care about no one's opinion but my parents. So, y'all know the motto. Be you, be true, and enjoy the view. And like I said, if you want to get any of these previous conversations, radio show airings, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel at Lioness Counseling. You can follow me on Twitter at Lioness Counsel. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, my website, and also continue to listen to this show live on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. on www.docradiolive, which is an internet radio. And we also have an app that you can download on Android and your iOS systems, which is also called Doc Radio Live. So please, if you need any counseling, any mental health services, please contact me at 817-888-8009, as the first session is always free. Until the next time, y'all, it's been real, and I'm out.